Hello everyone. So I've got a bit of a different video today. I just wanted to make a sort of a video touching on the Topps Now system that Topps do, the way they release the cards. So it's something that's been sort of bugging me for a while because I've got quite a big collection of Topps Now cards, specifically the Formula One cards. I've got a full set of the 2021 season, and I'm trying to collect every Max Verstappen Topps Now. I have other uh, football Topps Now cards. I've got another full set of the Women's Champions League from last year, and I think generally they are quite a cool collectible as things go are the Topps Nows because they capture a moment in history when it happened, and they are very good compared to your normal cards for remembering moments as they happened. Um, I wanted to make a video because, as a collector of these cards and watching how they have changed over the past 3 or 4 years, I think they're starting to get a bit out of hand. How Topps are producing them, and I think they're taking liberties out of the collectors really. So obviously this is the home screen of the Topps website at the moment, and this is one of the cards that's just been released, autographed Lionel Messi. Um, as a Formula One fan, we've just had the race in Texas, in Austin, which Max Verstappen won. So they've just released the two cards that have come out for that race. Now we've received only two cards for this race. We've got a Lewis Hamilton card. Despite the fact Lewis finished fourth, he got the record of first drive to reach 5,000 points. And then we've got an A card of Max Verstappen, who obviously won both races. Not a particularly great image of Max compared to some previous cards, but obviously one I'm going to look to get for my Max Verstappen Topps Now collection. So the biggest point of why I'm making this video is this down here. So the Max Verstappen card and the Lewis card, you are likely to receive just one of these base cards. Now, there's a £3 difference in these two cards, which you may, if you're not familiar with the Topps Now system, you might wonder why is the Lewis Hamilton card worth £3 more when it's for a less of an achievement than Max winning both the sprint and the full race. The reason is that in the Lewis Hamilton card, there's a chance of an autograph one card. A single card. So the way that the Topps Now system works is that you place an order for one or multiple versions of this base card, and it gives you a chance of getting these rare parallel versions. So for this one Lewis Hamilton card, you have the chance of two 1-of-1s, the reds, the blacks, the orange, the 50s, parallels. That's a total, including the autograph card, of 90 parallels. But specifically the autograph, there's only one. So compared to this Max Verstappen card, you are paying on average £3 more for the base card at the chance of getting that one Lewis Hamilton autograph card. So it just irritates me because not everybody buying this, who will want to buy this Lewis Hamilton card, will be going after one, the parallels, and two, the autograph card. Some will, and it will increase the amount of people who buy the card in chance of the autograph. Because don't get me wrong, it will be very expensive if you get this card. However, for me, it doesn't warrant or justify the card being £3 more. When you look on the Topps website, so this is like the landing page for the Topps Now, so you've got Max features on there, and you've got Lionel Messi and Jude Bellingham. It says these cards are only out for a limited time, which they are, so you have to place your order. They are promoting the idea of chasing the parallels, and I've got sort of a breakdown of why this is not a good thing to do, and I'll break it down in this spreadsheet here. And it also says every print run of these cards is archived. Is on the Topps Now archive. Now, first thing, you can't it's not easy to get to the archive from the UK website, which I'm on. The only way you can get to it is via this link down here. It's quite well hidden. If you go purely to the Tops Now page of the UK part of the website, I think they've changed it now actually. So I apologise for that. I didn't realise they've recently changed it. You didn't used to be able to get to the Tops Now archive on the UK when you had to go to the US version of the site. However, the next part of where I'm going to complain about definitely is valid. So this is the archive, and previously you used to be able to filter this by sport or via other filters. Now all they give us is the ability to sort it by selling criteria, best selling, price, relevance. I came to this as part of making this video to try and find previous F1 cards that had autograph versions in the Tops Now, but I can't find them because I can't filter the list. Now I'm at result 457 because there's only 24 items per page, and I still haven't come across them, and I'm miles off because they release about 20 to 30 baseball cards every week. So the results are just filled with baseball, and there's no way I can filter it out. And then when you put football on top and the other sports tops up, you're just scrolling for ages. Now, I was interested to see how big the print run was on the previous Lewis Hamilton card that had a chance of autographs, but I can't sit here scrolling through page after page after page in hope of finding it. There's also a point that some of these cards, even though we're at the start of the season, like this Luis Diaz, still doesn't have a print run. So despite the fact that the website here says every print run announced, I've got no idea how many of these cards have been printed. Later Bundesliga ones have print runs, but not these ones. This card I'm going to use as an example to break down why you shouldn't chase parallels. We'll shortly get to this, but this is a max card that I bought, but I didn't buy from Topps. I refused to give them the £9 they want plus postage for one singular card. I've just got in the habit now of buying them off eBay. But this is a very cool card, and the reason that I bought it off eBay is I'm not bothered about chasing these parallels. Another example here, here's another card, they say that the print run's announced. Maybe this is just delayed in getting uploaded, but this card was released early October. We still don't know what the print run is. Assume that they haven't printed them yet, but this one just says card 1. And then I just picked up this example here because this is a example of why so each card has 89 possible parallels, but this card here has only been printed 90 times. So in theory, if you are purchasing this card here, there's only one single individual who will get a base card if they do ship all parallels, because the parallels are meant to replace the base cards. And then this is just the archive again. So I've just put something together to sort of highlight how much of a lottery this system is, and this is why it's starting to really frustrate me. So the Lewis Hamilton card, the new one that's just come out, I've put a rough estimate based on previous Lewis Hamilton Tops Nows from this season. So the most recent one without a chance of an auto had 4,000 on the print run. So I've gone quite reserved and I've put 5,000 as the print run for this new card. I think it could go well beyond this, but I've just done that for argument's sake. The price of the card is £12 for 1 or £9.80 per card for 5. So my assumption is on average the card will cost about £10 because a lot of people will buy 1 and quite a few will buy the bundles of 5. Not many people will buy the 20 card bundles that get the card down to £8.30 a card. So my assumption is that the average is £10, results in a total revenue to Topps of 50,000. Now, that is how much money Topps get without any of the costs. But remember that Topps have a contract with Lewis Hamilton now, so the autograph is not costing them any more money now because they've already prepaid for the autographs. They'll just use one that they've got a sticker from him already, so the cost to Topps is very small. And obviously they charge for the shipping and all that on top. They obviously have the cost of printing the parallels, etc. But this is still a very healthy profit margin for Topps. Down here I've done sort of an example of why they charge extra for the autograph chasers, because if you look at the difference, they're getting £3 more per card, which results in 15 grand more of revenue. I've then broken down, based on just these numbers up here that are speculation, but we're going to look at an actual example based on an actual print run. But based on this Lewis Hamilton card being a print run of 5,000, and there being 90 parallels, which is including the 1/1 auto, there's 89 non-parallel autograph parallels. The odds of getting a parallel per one card purchase would be 1.8%. If that number goes up, that percentage goes significantly down. The amount of cards that have to be the amount of card purchased, therefore, per parallel that is posted out by Topps is 55.6 cards, which results, based on the average of £10 per card, that the total spent per parallel by customers is around £555, which is a large amount of money for chasing parallels. So look at an example of this Max Verstappen card that we had up earlier. That had a print run of 3,846 cards. It had no autograph chances, so the average cost per card is roughly going to be about £7. The number of parallels for that card was 89, which means the odds of a parallel per card purchase was 2.3%. The amount of cards that therefore were purchased to get each parallel, on average, was 43, which means the money spent by customers was roughly £300 per parallel. Why is that so alarming, and why should this be concerning to people? Because essentially what people are doing is buying the base cards like a lottery ticket, the chance of getting one of these parallels. And like the lottery, the odds are in Topps' favour. That amount of money is significantly higher than what these parallels resell for. Significantly. And that is what's being missed. This is how Topps is making so much money on these things. Because I've done a search essentially of Lewis Hamilton Topps Now cards, and I've searched for out of 99s, because we have more data for Topps, because they've only recently changed it to out of 50s this season. All previous years have been out of 99. You used 99, 10s and 1s for the parallels. So you used to have 110 parallels. We've now only got 89. And this here just sort of shows why the gamble of going for parallels is not worth it. So even as recent as 3 days ago, a parallel in a PSA slab is sold for 26. One of the more iconic Lewis Hamiltons has sold for 122. But remember that we're seeing that the money spent per parallel is hundreds of pounds. So even this is low compared to what the overall community is spending. And we've got some more examples like 115. This is a good one, but this is also one of the most iconic Lewis's, and it's graded. But this is Hamilton's last race for Mercedes, so would be worth more. But here's some more examples: £25 for an out of 99 for a Hamilton win. You've got for another $40 for a PSA 9 out of 99. You've got $39 for another 99 out of 99. You've got $135 for a card with Lewis, George, and Lando on. You've got $31 again for another Lewis, and it's a theme. The parallels are not going for a significant enough amount of money. Now, especially when you consider that a lot of the people who are buying these cards and gambling on parallels and buying these bundles So let's say someone is spending the $87.99 on getting 10 cards. We know that the odds, roughly, of getting a parallel for those people would be about 18%, and that's obviously based on my rough numbers. They've still only got a 1 in 5 chance of a parallel. They've spent £88, and even if they get parallel from that £89 spent, there's no guarantee they're going to get more than £120, £150. So you've got like a 1 in 5 chance of getting a parallel. And then if you were to try and recoup your money or make profit, you're only making a small amount of money for the gamble you're taking. And that's what really is sort of blowing my mind with this at times, and why I get sort of disheartened when I'm seeing people ordering the tops now and spending so much money. Yeah, I think you should buy them because they're cool cards, but I think people need to be more aware that it is very much just a lottery rigged in the favour of tops making plenty of money. Now, just to look at this Max Verstappen example again, so we sort of worked out roughly £300 per pound spent by the customers for every parallel that's posted out. And again, looking at Max Verstappen's tops nows, and again looking at 99s, so a lot of Max's tops nows have come through the 4 years where he's won championships, and you're looking at from a win £50 for out of 99. You've got a PSA 10, yes, that's 230, but you've got to consider there's a grading fee in there, and this is a Max. This is a very cool Max image of him at Abu Dhabi on another win, $39, $38. This is a PSA 10 of a world championship winning parallel, $100. A base 99 of this is again world championship parallel, £9 to £20. 75, 61, 61, again the world championship, 52. And I highlight the Max card in particular because as a Max fan, at the end of last season, he got basically of this card up here, the World Championship we just looked at. You had to get both. They released two cards for him winning the World Championship. We got this one and a second card, and the second card I had to spend £12 on because it had a chance for an autograph. Now, the most annoying thing about that is I had to pay for the increase. I had to pay the premium on the seriously small chance of getting that one autograph card, which has been redeemed by someone. Someone got that card in the post. They have redeemed it, but today it's still not been redeemed. It's still not been posted by Topps. They haven't got any at the moment. It seems like they can't get Max Verstappen to sign cards. They seem to get limited opportunities per season, but Max Verstappen hasn't had any autographs or extremely limited number of autographs in the past 6 to 9 months. And that's what they charge the premium for. They charged us all £3 an extra per card for a chance of getting an autograph card that may never exist. Because whilst the redemptions have an expiry of 10 years, there's still no guarantee you'll get that card. And what Topps will do is offer you a replacement in place of the redemption. If for instance you go back to them and go, "Where's my card? Where's my card?" They'll then start offering you alternatives. So they've charged everybody a premium for one person to get a card that may never exist because they may take the substitution, which I think is just a bit of a farce. For me, it should be the same price for this card as this card, and I'm almost certain that the print run of this card would be significantly more than this card, because lots more people would buy the single cards or more because they would be doing this. For me, they don't need to charge this extra. I think it's a bit of a farce, and it makes collecting the sets of these very difficult because you're taking even more money out of the collector base for what are already extremely expensive cards. At the start of, I think in 2020, or 2021, these were £6 a card. And we're now at £9 a card, and we're getting exactly the same cards. And if anything, the parallels are worse quality if you do get them. So yeah, it's very frustrating. And I sort of just wanted to put a video together, sort of summarising my thoughts. Personally, I'm trying to avoid buying these now directly from Topps where I can. I try and buy them on the second market from eBay, and I try and just in general avoid giving Topps money because I think they are not got. I think they're trying to get as much money at every possible opportunity from people, and I'm trying to avoid taking part in that, especially now they essentially have a monopoly in the card hobby. So yeah, hopefully next video will be something a bit more positive. I've got some box opens to upload, so I will post them soon. But yeah, if anyone did watch this all the way through and stuff, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.